Hello, everybody. So we're just gonna wait give people a chance to come in here. Um, Hope everybody's had a good week. Good week thus far. We're still pretty early in it. Yeah, we're just, as I said, just gonna wait a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. Hong Kong Fooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Fooey, quicker than the human eye. Chicka bong, chicka bong, chicka wong, wong, bong. Hong Kong Fooey, that's terrific. Hong Kong Fooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Fooey, quicker than the human eye. Wham, bam, boo, boo. Hong Kong Fooey, that's terrific. Hmm. Yeah, so let's see. What else is going on? Let's see now. Oh yeah, Scooby Dooby Doo, looking for you. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are ya? All the stars are here, waiting for you. Couldn't have a show without ya. Scooby, Scooby Doo. Hey Scooby, where are you? I'm over here. Let's see now. Mass Crusaders working overtime, fighting crime. Secret raiders who will neutralize the terrorists. Voltron's gonna lead the mission. Spectrum's got such supervision. Do. Mask is a mighty power that can save the day. Mask, no one knows a lot on a masquerade. Mask, always riding on Venom's trail. And to a laser ray on his way. Do. When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who oppose his shield. Actually, I gotta step away from the computer. Oh, hello. We have one other person, maybe. Yeah. Hey, Shadowhawk. We're just waiting on. Hey, Shadowhawk. We're just waiting on some more people to show up. Anyways, no problem. Yeah, so we're just, as I said, we're just waiting on some more people to show up, give people a chance to get in here. And thank you for the like, by the way. I don't know. I'll just have to put up with that until I can get around this. All right. So, anyways, let's see. We're at 6 minutes already. There's at least 2 of us here. Wait a few more minutes here before I get started. Thank you. All right. So now I got that thing fixed. Anyways, yeah. So let's see. We're coming up on 7. So Shadowhawk, anything else going on with you? Thing you want to promote or anything? Talk about? Hong Kong Fooey, #1 super guy. Hong Kong Fooey, quicker than the human eye. Hong Kong Fooey, that's terrific. All right. So, anyways, let's see. Well, we're about to hit the 8-minute mark here. I guess it would be a good time to go over what will be would be much appreciated. Yep. Guess it would be a good time to start getting started here on what we'll be talking about tonight. So I've got 5 articles to go over. One from RJ's site, a review he did on a Korean manhwa. That's actually how it's pronounced in Korea. It's manhwa, not manga. Let's see what else. What else? Aside from that, of course, let's see. We also have a couple of stories. There's one coming out where Titan Comics is taking over the publishing rights to Conan the Barbarian from Marvel. There's also another Marvel story in regards to a variant cover in which they portrayed Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, as the new Spider Woman. And also on the anime side of it, we've got a couple anime news stories to talk about in which let's see, some new information on a TV special in regards to the Doctor Stone series, as well as, of course, Bounding into Comics, obviously. Okay, so the 2 anime stories, of course, we're going to do are from Bounding into Comics. The 3 comic stories we're going to do, one is from RJ site, and the other 2 are from CBR. That's the thing I forgot to mention. But also, Bounding into Comics also did an article on Daniela Pinedo wanting to do a Faye spinoff. I know Flash talked about that too the other day. So with that, and of course we got wrestling roundup as well as this day in each history towards the end. So without no further ado, since we're at just past the 10-minute mark here, why don't we go ahead and get started? And if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream to we get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. But I'm pretty sure Shadowhawk already did that. Let's hope we can get some more people in here. So here's the first story we're going to cover right here. This is from RJ's site. All right, so here we go. The Radiant Sight, a modern Cinderella Korean drama. Submitted by R.J. Carter on Monday, June 20th, which was yesterday, 8:45 p.m. So I'm guessing that's his time there. Well, look at that artwork right there. Doesn't that girl look kind of pretty, huh? Nice dress and all that. And of course, as I'm reading the articles, if anything catches your attention, feel free to comment if you got any, either feel free to comment or ask any questions if you want, to, if you want anything answered or if I can answer anything for you in regards to what we're talking about here, or you have comments on the article or anything about it that catches your interest. Anyways, let's get to it. Mild-tempered Kim Bit-na is used to being overlooked, but her destiny is about to change in this modern Cinderella story from Martin Fisher, inspired by romantic Korean dramas. Bit-na is a young girl who lives in the slums with her roommate, the strong and confident Chloe. Both struggle to make ends meet and pay the rent. Their life is a stark contrast when compared to that of Thomas Gold, the young director of the Gold Foundation, who lives a life of modern royalty. When Thomas's parents decide to throw a formal party to celebrate his recent financial successes, he sees it for the trap that it is. A scheme for him to meet eligible women and settle down. Yeah, well, granted, my parents were never that way, but we all know that usually in the more upper crust of society, they always try to bury their kids off ASAP to further the line, and in the hopes of also propagating the family line, as it were. So I'm sure we're all aware of that aspect of it. Let's see if anybody's saying anything that's fun. Hey, Toys. Hey there. Hey, Toys. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Chloe's barking again, so I've got to go take care of her real quick. So I'll be right back, but I'll leave you guys some music to listen to while I'm... So why don't you guys talk amongst yourselves while I go take care of Chloe. Be right back. Right, I'm back. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Anyways, let's get back to the article here. Fate and magic begin to weave their spell as an invitation to the event lands in Chloe's hands. At the same time, Bitna um, inherits a dress from an aunt she never knew she had. When Chloe decides to crash the party, um, Bitna drives her, but Chloe forgets the invite. Bitna can't get in to give it to her without a dress. So she slips on the dress she just received and becomes someone else, someone charming and irresistible. Everyone can see it in her, everyone but Bitna, who has no idea why she's suddenly being fawned over by so many people, including Thomas Gold. Whoa! That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Fans of romantic Korean manga. Actually, okay, and again, I believe in Korea they call it manhwa, not manga. Manga is Japanese. I believe the term in Korea is manhwa, manwha, and then I think in China it's manhua, which is manhua. So um, just just a little tidbit for everybody to know there. We'll want to check out this story from Fisher with art by Roca. The project is currently funding on Kickstarter until July 18th. All right, so there we go with that one. There we go with that one. All right, so with that, let's see. Let's continue on here. Um, Now going on to CBR here. Get to our next stories. And there's only a couple from here, so and usually these take pretty. All right, so here's a big one that came out. Um, Titan Comics takes over Conan the Barbarian publishing rights from Marvel. Titan Comics has picked up um, the publishing rights to Conan the Barbarian from Marvel and will begin a new ongoing Conan series in May 2023. Article by Brian Schwer, published 13 hours ago. Now, this has been talked about a lot a bit. Marvel has been starting to lose. Marvel and IDW both been starting to lose um, titles that have gone to other companies. So here we're just going to focus on this one in particular. Titan Comics has taken over the publishing rights for Conan the Barbarian. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Titan Comics has nabbed the publishing rights to Conan the Barbarian. The rights previously belonged to Marvel Comics, who acquired the rights in 2018 and then started a new Conan the Barbarian run in 2019. In May, Marvel decided not to renew the rights to the property with Conan Properties International, which is owned by Heroic Signatures. Titan Comics' deal with Heroic Signatures covers graphic novels and remastered archives. The publisher will begin putting out a new Conan the Barbarian ongoing series in May 2023, followed by a handful of miniseries starring other recognizable characters, including Solomon Kane and Dark Agnes. We, quote, we have been working with Titan for a year on the prose side and established a good foundation for expanding our business together, unquote. Heroic Signatures President Frederick Malmberg said, quote, when it became clear that Heroic Signatures would publish our own comics, it was natural to partner with a team that we have known for decades. Their expertise in publishing is stellar, and we couldn't be more excited to launch a Barbarian horde of titles like Conan, Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes, and many more together. So could Titan through this line start to become a major player here? That'd be interesting to see. I think Titan already does, some of the Power Rangers comics as well. So, Titan sounds like Titan's some company that I think they're based over in Britain, from what I understand. The Titan Comics here is probably something that everybody might want to keep an eye on. Initially created by Robert E. Howard, Conan the Barbarian has starred in comics since the 1970s. The earliest licensed comics were published by Marvel up until 2003, which included runs such as a 275-issue run of Conan the Barbarian, 1974's Savage Sword of Conan, and more. The initial run also introduced the popular character of Red Sonja, created by Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith in 1973's Conan the Barbarian number 23. And if many of you might remember the movie Red Sonja, which starred Brigitte Nielsen, who of course went on to also co-star in Rocky IV with of course Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, and Dolph Lundgren. So Dark Horse Comics acquired the rights to Conan in 2003 and launched a new Conan series by Kurt Busiek and Cary Nor. Several other Conan-related series followed from Dark Horse in the coming years before the rights went back to Marvel in 2018. Along with new solo comics, Conan also stars in Marvel's Savage Avengers series that launched in 2019. The series is currently releasing its second volume, with Savage Avengers number 3 scheduled to release July 13th. Jason Aaron and Mahmoud Asrar's King Conan number 6, which releases July 6th, marks Marvel's final entry in the Hyborian Age. Quote, we enjoy a great relationship with Marvel and hope to do crossovers, and that Conan will appear now and then in Savage Avengers, but nothing is planned as of this moment, unquote, Malmberg previously said. Source, The Hollywood Reporter. Alrighty then. So there's that one. Now we have one more to do from comic side of things. But yeah, so there are a lot of there do seem to be some titles kind of shifting around a little bit here and there, as previously noted. I know IDW was losing a bunch of titles as well. So Marvel's Black Cat is a Spider-Woman on Marvel's Black Cat is a new Spider-Woman on in York Lee's stunning variant cover. Marvel's Black Cat becomes a new version of Spider-Woman, appropriately named Night Spider, in a new Inuk Lee Edge of Spider-Verse variant cover. Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot. Marvel's Black Cat has become Spider-Woman in an incredible Inuk Lee variant cover for Marvel's Edge of Spider-Verse. Lee posted the cover on his Twitter account with a simple caption, quote, Edge of Spider-Verse #1, unquote. The cover shows Felicia Hardy standing in a doorway while clad in her stunning new Night Spider outfit. Quote, face it, Tiger, unquote. Felicia says while standing there. You, quote, you just hit the jackpot, unquote. The costume, I think it seems somewhat reminiscent of Jennifer Carpenter's version as opposed to Jessica Jones' version. I wonder. You kind of wonder what powers she had. She would have as Night Spider. Does she have more along the lines of like Peter Parker and Jessica? Does she have more along the lines of Peter Parker and maybe Jessica Carpenter, or or are they more in line with Jessica Jones' version? That'd be the interesting thing right there. I think somebody. Hey, RJ. Hey, hey, RJ. Yeah. I already did your article, but I'm glad you're here. If you'd stick around, appreciate it, and comment a bit more here. See if we can get this count up a bit, because it's still okay. There we go. On YouTube, it says 2 now, so that's good. Still saying 1, of course, on StreamYard, but that thing's always screwy. But anyways, and hopefully we can get some more people in here, of course, and get them to check out what we're doing here. Just got it. All right. All right. So, anyways, as we continue on here, Edge of Spider-Verse is a new 5-issue limited series launching in August from Marvel. Felicia's new Night Spider persona, which was previously revealed in May, is one of several new Spider heroes Marvel will introduce throughout the run. Other new characters coming in Edge of Spider-Verse include a kilt-wearing Spider Laird, a Hunter Spider Craven the Hunter variant, and more. Man, this almost reminds me of the whole Spider Clone arc in the comics and, of course, in the 90s TV series, where you had all the different. You did have the Scarlet Spider with Ben Riley. You had Octo Spider. You had, you had normal Spider, non-powered Spidey, mutation Spidey. So, with that, each issue of Edge of Spider-Verse will contain 3 separate stories that will set the stage for the end of Spider-Verse. An epic concluding chapter coming later this year from Marvel, Edge of Spider-Verse will also reintroduce readers to some of fan favorite Spider-Man variants, including Aranya, Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, rather, Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Man India. Okay, now I understand what. Created by Marv Wolfman and Keith Pollard, Felicia was first introduced to readers in 1979's Amazing Spider-Man number 194. She first took on the persona of Black Cat when breaking her father, William Hardy, out of prison after he was arrested for burglary. Continuing her career in vigilantism, Black Cat was originally one of Spider-Man's many antagonists. However, she has also been portrayed as Peter Parker's ally and love interest since her initial debut. Kind of very similar to kind of the relationship that Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Selena Kyle, Catwoman have in DC. You know, somewhat modern version. Um, I hear a dog barking. I've got to go check and make sure that's not Chloe. So I will be right back. I'll leave you guys some music to listen to while I'm gone. Talk amongst yourselves. And as always, guys, if you have any comments or questions about what I'm going through, go ahead and chime in. I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. Right back. All right, looks like we have a comment here. Let's go ahead and quickly get what's going on there. Okay. Marvel has too many spiders. It has more more spiders than DC has bats. Time to call in Terminator. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like I know. Yeah, RJ, I get that because I know. I think it's kind of funny because I think Yellow Flash kind of alluded to it a few months ago. Kind of the same idea with in other words, they're oversaturating the market with their most popular character to try to stay afloat, and it's gonna kill both the franchise and the company doing it that way. That's what it seems like, anyway. But anyway, let's continue on with the article here. Oh yeah, okay. So let's see. Oh yeah. And I think I had mentioned. Let's see. One of the other things I'd mentioned. I also remember they did a slight difference in her background and stuff on Amazing Spider-Man, in which her father was known as the Cat, and you know she was turned into the Black Cat by Kingpin through the use of the super soldier formula, which he had in his memory. So that was from the '90s cartoon Spider-Man the animated series. So anyway, let's continue on here. Black Cat is about to reappear in Marvel's current The Amazing Spider-Man run, um, which comes from writer Zeb Wells and artist John Romita Jr. A CBR exclusive preview of The Amazing Spider-Man #4, which releases June 22nd, so 1 week, or actually no, tomorrow rather, sees Felicia showing up at Mary Jane's apartment while she's looking for Peter. Mary Jane, who is seemingly in a new relationship and now has 2 children, tells her Peter isn't there, and the two bond for a brief moment before Black Cat departs through the window. Edge of Spider-Verse #1 from writers Dan Slott, Alex Segura, and Carla Pacheco, with art by Mark Bagley and more, and cover art by Jose Maria Casanovas. The issue releases August 3rd from Marvel. Edge of Spider-Verse #2 follows on August 17th, with Edge of Spider-Verse #3 on August 31st. So basically, they're releasing it every 2 weeks. Edge of Spider-Verse. So, anyways, as we will prepare now to move on to that's all for the comic side of it. I'll now get it ready to head over to Bounding into Comics to go through some of the anime news stories, a couple anime stories there. We're going pretty quick here tonight too. That's cool. Alrighty then. So we got a couple anime articles we're gonna run through here. Then we'll get to the wrestling highlights, um, and then all right. So here we go. Doctor Stone Ryusui TV special drops final trailer, reveals official premiere date. Article by Nerdigans Inc. published yesterday, the 20th, from in the anime and manga section. So here we go. It's time to get excited and full of desire as the newly dropped final trailer the upcoming Dr. Stone TV special centered on Ryuji has revealed the episode's official release date. So here's a look at that for those of you who might be interested. Revealed by Toho Animation on June 12th during a live stream. So that'd be what? Last Sunday, a week ago this past Sunday. Live stream event. The upcoming TV special's final trailer has confirmed that the Ryusui-centric adventure will be broadcast on Tokyo MX, BS11, KBS, Kyoto, Sun TV, and Animax, and simulcast on Crunchyroll on July 10th. Those Tokyo, all that is basically Japanese television stations, I believe. Animax, I think, is an international anime channel that is actually in many different countries, and everybody knows what Crunchyroll is. Further, the trailer confirmed that the hour-long episode will be adapting the introduction of desire-filled fan favorite navigator Ryusui, as seen in the Age of Exploration arc of Riichiro Inagaki and Boichi's popular manga, including his awakening, the team's quest for oil, and the construction of the Perseus. And of course, it's apparently the trailer's on YouTube if you want to go check it out. The trailer begins with Senku, who is voiced by Yusuke Kobayashi, who voices Subaru Natsuki in Regarding Zero, Starting Life in Another World. Taiju, who's voiced by in Japanese by Makoto Furukawa, who voices Saitama in One Punch Man. Nikki, who's voiced in Japanese by Atsumi Tanizaki, who voices Anya Forger in Spy Family. And Minami, who is voiced in Japanese by Yoko Hikasa, who voices Urahime Iori in Jujutsu Kaisen. On a raft heading to the island where the ultimate navigator that will assist the kingdom of science across the world and conquer the age of exploration in one fell swoop. According to Minami on the island, there should be a ship captain with godly skills that can captain a sailing ship. Obviously, they forgot to put in the letter A in there. There should be a ship captain editorial there. Yeah, sometimes you have to be almost amazed when you look at these articles and sometimes do find some of these editorial mistakes, pop up here and there. Like how does this stuff get by the how does this stuff get by the editors that on these things? Anyways, their journey brings them to the Nanami Academy, whose selling inclusive curriculum and campus is funded by the biggest name in the maritime industry, the Nanami Corporation, whose founding clan's outrageous son is Ryusui himself. Our science team then encounters the petrified and soon-to-be navigator himself, Ryusui Nanami, voiced in Japanese by Ryota Suzuki, who voices who voices Kaguya-sama, Love is War, and Seven Deadly Sins. I guess he's in Kaguya-sama, Love is War, and Seven Deadly Sins. Who, upon being revived from petrification, proudly proclaims, quote, "Finally, I'm back, and this world will be mine all over again," unquote. After learning about the state of the world, he further declares, quote, "This is the perfect chance, then. You people did well to bring me back. If all the world's up for grabs, now then, I'll just have to take it for myself," unquote. Wow, quite a bold statement there. Quite a bold statement. In the vein of guys like Naruto, nonetheless. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, putting on some clothes, Ryusui then comments on the team's beautiful women, to which Magma says he only sees two, acknowledging Kohaku uh, acknowledging Kohaku and Minami, but ignoring Nikki. Quote, "Whatever do you mean by that?" Unquote. Ryusui asked in turn. Quote, "There are all types in this world, but every lady is a beauty in her own right. Am I right?" Unquote. Wow, this guy's a ladies' man. This guy's quite a ladies' man, isn't he? Swoon any of them. Ah, moving on here. Less than a day after being revived, Ryusui is then seen having already claimed full ownership right to the oil field created created currency called the Drago, and in the process become a millionaire. Meanwhile, Kinro, who is voiced by Tomoaki Naeno, who voices Hajime Shokotani in Platinum End, Ginro, who's voiced by Ayumi Marase, who voices Shoyo Hinata in Haikyuu. Ah, yeah, the little guy. And Yo, who is voiced by Yoshiki Nakajima, who voices Riras Lipig Lupinranga. Lupinranga versus Padaranga versus Kyuraranga. Look on in jealousy as Ryusui lives a life of luxury. Ryusui is then seen taking a look at plans the Kingdom of Science drew up for the motorized hybrid vessel that will eventually become Perseus. Following some back and forth about their future plans, Ryusui tells Senku that before the ship can take them around the world, he'll need to find some oil to power the ship. Ryusui then offers to help get him where he needs to go on one condition: the full rights and ownership to whichever oil field they find. So he's basically sending them out to claim more oil fields on his behalf. So that's very interesting. And he's obviously got the wealth to do it with. Now we're up at 50 minutes here. Ukyo, who is voiced in Japanese by Kensho Ono, who voices Canute in Vinland Saga. Chrome, who is voiced by Gen Sato, who voices Pichan in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 Stone Ocean. That's the one coming up here about Jolene Cujo and how she's in a prison. And Kohaku Kohakuare Kohakuare are next seen searching for oil, but to their shock, instead of finding that quote right on the border of Shizuoka unquote, there exists quote a huge waterfall on par with the mighty Niagara unquote. To this, Senku realizes that what they were seeing was an event that happened only, quote, every few centuries, the eruption of Fuji, unquote. The trailer ultimately ends with Shuika, who is voiced by Manaka Iwami, who voices Millie in Spy Family, opining, quote, if only we could ride a big bird and look down from the sky, from way up high, we could see exactly what the land looks like, unquote, to which Senku has a brain blast that eventually leads to the development and use of hot air balloons in order to search the sky for oil. Following the Ryusei special, the third season of Dr. Stone is scheduled to launch in 2023. You excited for new Dr. Stone content? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. So there we go with that one. Now we'll get ready to move on to the next story here. Next story here. Huh. Mm-hmm. That is good. the net, so he will come back here. Alrighty. Right, so here we go with the next article here. Now, mind you, if not for her attitude, for her attitude, she does look pretty. Um, but it's her attitude that makes her ugly. Netflix's Cowboy Bebop star Daniela Pineda said she quote would love for Faye to have her own spinoff series. Article by Spencer Cooley published earlier today. Pitching what may be one of the most wildly unpopular ideas of all time, of course, because of what happened. Netflix's Cowboy Bebop star Daniela Pineda has opined that though the widely panned live-action anime adaptation has come to an end, she, quote, would love for Faye to have her own spinoff. Yeah, I remember people were saying, they didn't even finish the series. They ended after like 3 weeks. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Let's give a trashy show a spinoff. Yeah, one that is wrong. Yeah. Um, Pineda spoke to her hope for the return of her Whedon Whedon Whedonified Whedonified uh, version of the series' iconic purple-haired con artist during the red carpet interview with Cinema Blend, given ahead given ahead um, of the premiere of her latest film, Jurassic World Dominion, in which she reprises her role in the last film um, as Dino Vet Dr. Zia Rodriguez. Um, just give me a moment, folks. I'm going to step away from the computer for a moment here. I'll be right back. I'll leave you some music to listen to while I'm gone. Yeah, it's still saying. Oh, that's good. Anyways, getting back to the article here. First, let me. Anita spoke to her hopes for the. Okay, yeah, we already saw that. Okay, asked by the movie news outlet if she had thought to continuing on in the role of Faye, Pineda asserted, quote, I would love for Faye to have her own spin-off. Only problem is that if if it's her own imagining of what Faye is, it will flop even worse even worse than the original source material. Okay. It will if she tries to come back and play Faye the way she envisions Faye, um then it will bomb like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay. Uh Quote, that was such a crazy experience, and I really wish that we were given a chance, unquote. Well, you were, and you were soundly rejected. You really didn't rely on the original source material. You kind of just took the original source material, wiped your butt with it, and then just did your own thing with it, with the characters. You know, Faye was a femme fatale, and you didn't want to play her as a femme fatale. You wanted to play her as an SJW, Me Too, fist pounding, strong woman, but that's what got you canned by not being faithful to the source material. And if you think that bringing a sequel, bringing a spinoff with your ideas to it is going to make you any money, you got quite a imagination there, little girl. Anyways, said the actress, quote, a lot of shows, they find their own footing. That's just the truth of it. You find your footing even from the pilot episode into the season. And then season 2, season 3, you grow, you develop, and you figure things out, unquote. Well, the problem was you were never going to figure out how to change the story to fit your narrative, okay, and make it a success. That's why you didn't even last a month. Pineda then reiterated, quote, I think it's unfortunate that we didn't get the chance to do that, unquote. Well, you got the chance, it didn't work out. Quote, but we'll see, unquote, she concluded. Quote, who knows? Maybe Faye will come back around. It was a really fun character to play. However, as unlikely as it was that a live-action adaptation of a beloved anime series whose entire identity was built around poor writing, fan antagonism, and ignoring input from its original creator would have ever been good. Yep. All true. The chances of any character from Netflix's train wreck making any future appearances outside of the inevitable Space Jam 2-esque cameo storm so many studios have become so fond of is even more so for one simple reason. Hardly anyone wants it. Uh-huh. Yep. Yes. Miss Pineda wants to shove her idea of what Faye is down everybody's throat, and nobody's having it because they already have a good idea of what Faye is, what and who Faye is, and any deviation from that will not be accepted. You know, Danielle is gonna save herself a lot of grief if she just comes to accept that fact that fan service is not necessarily bad. That femme fatale characters work as femme fatale characters. Aside from nearly every fan of the original series disowning the series for its aggrandized bastardization of Shinichiro Watanabe's work. Great words there. Self-aggrandized bastardization. That almost sounds like the bowderization they did with Science Ninja Team Gatchaman back in 1972. But at least with that, they were trying to make it more of a kid-friendly series, and that's why they did that. But this one, it was just, ugh. Netflix's Cowboy Bebop failed to even find its footing among the same critics who would normally lap up any given pandering production. As of writing, roughly 6 months following the series premiere, the live-action Cowboy Bebop currently holds not only a 46% rotten rating from critics on review aggregate outlet Rotten Tomatoes. They got a 60% audience score. Well, but also a similar 47% on Metacritic, with most of its praise coming from critics who never engaged with the original anime, such as Newsday's Vern Gay, who, as an example of the audience the Netflix series ultimately appealed to, insists on writing the term as anime, with, I guess, a little mark over the E, even though the word is Japanese. It's a Japanese word. It's not a French word. User score mixed. For their comments, the series' primary trio have all weighed in on Cowboy Bebop's cancellation. On December 10th, just one day after Netflix announced that they would not be renewing the series, Jet Black actor Mustafa Shakir took to his personal Instagram to reflect on his time as the de facto leader of the Bebop's crew. Quote, "What a cool opportunity, right?" Unquote, wrote Shakir, alongside a black and white image of himself on set as Jet. Quote, "I got to play Jet Black. I'll never not be him, so to speak. That's, BA to me," unquote. So there's that black and white image right there. Noting that at Netflix, noting that, quote, "At Netflix went balls to the wall for us in order to get it done," unquote. The actor then offered his thanks for how, quote, "they really looked out for us when bleep hit the fan," unquote. Though he did not elaborate on what specific events he was referring to. Let me see if anybody else is here. Like this. All right. Anyways, however, Shakir then admitted, quote, "But at the end of the day, business is business, and this was a big ship that needed a lot of fuel," unquote, before reasoning, quote, "Maybe the haters and the critics got us. Maybe it wasn't as good as we thought," unquote. So at least a little bit of honesty there from him. You know, maybe a little bit of honesty there from him, and he's not like sitting there doing the whole SJW BS. Quote, "All I know is we got this done under the craziest conditions, and I'm proud of what we did," unquote. He signed off, quote, "Thank you for dreaming with us. See you, Space Cowboys. Ever yours, Jet Black." Sound show respect. John Cho, who led the series as protagonist Spike Spiegel, told The Hollywood Reporter in March, Cowboy Bebop's cancellation took him by surprise, recalling, quote, "It was just a huge event in my life, and it was suddenly over. It was very shocking, and I was bummed," unquote. Quote, "But I was very warmed by the response," unquote, the actor added. Quote, "I wish I could have contacted everybody and gotten hugs. You can't do that now, but I don't know what this is," unquote. He concluded, quote, "I'm mystified a little bit about how you can connect with people that you don't know doing your work, but I won't question it. I will value it and treasure it. I'm just really deeply appreciative that anyone would care. It's stunning to me," unquote. Is there anything anyone could do to make you interested in a Pineda led Faye Valentine spinoff? If they went with the original character concept, if they went with what Shinichiro Watanabe originally had when he envisioned her, if they sit there and try to give us this SJW garbage Faye, then that thing's gonna bomb. That's gonna bomb, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Anyways, I gotta go take care of Chloe. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. I gotta go get Chloe here, so I'll be right back. Um, Yes, it can sometimes be a pain when you're the only one home and you have a dog. Well, anyway, what's going on? Yes. All right. So with that, I think we kind of got through the article. Now we just have some wrestling news to go over a little bit here, some WWE and AEW news. Um, the last, basically the big news, of course, is still surrounding scandal surrounding Vince McMahon. Um, the latest in all that is John Laurinaitis has been replaced as vice president in charge of talent relations. As he's stepped down and he's been replaced on an interim basis by Bruce Pritchard, who of course is said to be one of Vince McMahon's main guys. Now Bruce Pritchard, of course, is on screen. Of course, he was known for his role as Brother Love, the televangelist character back in the late '80s, early '90s. But throughout much of his WWE career, he also, of course, was the guy who introduced the Undertaker to the then WWF and then eventually WWE. Um, and he's been, more or less an agent, usually backstage guy, you know, following his retirement as Brother Love. So, um, yeah. So there's nothing too big, There's also been rumors swirling about that, well, okay. So also what's been found out recently is, at least for a while now, maybe for the past few years here, Vince and Linda have, of course, been living separately. And now with what came out about this hush money pact, um, you know, um, might give Linda grounds for filing for divorce. Um, oh yeah. So meanwhile, on the talent side of things, as it were, um, oh yeah. So Roman Reigns is still gone, of course. Um, among some, and apparently now, for the moment, anyways, the Mysterios, Ray and Dominique, and Judgment Day have currently been demoted. So if you wanna look for a way to crash a gimmick and real quickly, just look at what they did with the Judgment Day um, thing. They threw Edge out of the group, and now it has apparently been reported that Rhea Ripley's been pulled out of her Money in the Bank match. Um, hey RJ, got to go edit. Hmm. Well, hey, you should stick around for a few more minutes because I'm almost done. I mean, sure you'll want to, sure you want to catch the history portion of the show. You know, remember I don't just do news articles. I do remember I have a history segment at the end too. A lot of times when you take off early, you usually miss out on the history segments too. Last night you missed out on the fact that I came across a bit of an interesting piece of trivia in that back in 1972 on yesterday's date was when 100th issue of Justice League of America came out. So went on sale. So, but with that, I'll stick around for a few more minutes here, or I think I'm almost done here. But anyways, with getting back to, WWE right now with some of the injuries that have happened and the fact they haven't really built anybody up in a while has really got them kind of being a little sluggish. And now Rhea Ripley, who apparently was they were looking to possibly make her the new leader of the Judgment Day faction, has apparently now had to step away, and in fact she was taken out of her Money in the Bank match for some undisclosed medical reasons. So, and Money in the Bank is coming up in a few weeks. So that's a lot of the WWE news. And then now for some AEW news. So as I was mentioning, of course, this Sunday is Forbidden Door. Some new, as they continue to prepare for it. A new development, of course. Now it's been announced that Tomohiro Ishii has been added to that four-way match for the All Atlantic title. So he's somehow qualified into the match. So right now, Tomohiro Ishii, Pac, Miro all in the four-way match for the All Atlantic title coming up this Sunday at Forbidden Door. Now the last contenders will happen tomorrow night as Pento Oscura, representing the Death Triangle faction, as well as Mexico, will be taking on Malachi Black, representing the House of Black faction and the country of France. The winner of that match advances to that fatal four-way for this Sunday. So, let's see. So, as we see it now, the main event looks like for the interim AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Tanahashi of New Japan will be taking on Jon Moxley, who's been deemed the number one contender for AEW. Also, Will Ospreay will be defending the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Orange Cassidy. I already mentioned the All Atlantic title will be established in a fatal four-way match. Between Tomohiro Ishii, Pac, Miro, and the winner of tomorrow night's match between Pento Oscura and Malachi Black. You also will have the AEW Women's Championship on the line, as Thunder Rosa will be defending against Toni Storm, and in a winner-take-all match, in a three-way tag team match in which Ring of Honor tag team champions FTR will be taking on IWGP tag team champions Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, representing United Empire, and Roppongi Vice being represented by Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. So that will also be on the line. Now for tomorrow night's Dynamite, as I mentioned, they'll have the final qualifying match for the All Atlantic four-way match happening between Pento Oscura and Malachi Black. The main event will see Chris Jericho and teaming up with Lance Archer to take on the team of Tanahashi and Moxley, who will, of course, be facing each other Sunday at Forbidden Door. And then you'll have also a six-man tag match, or as they like to call it, the trios match, under the Lucha Libre style, in which you have Will Ospreay and the team known as Aussie Open, Jeff Fletcher and Mark Davis of United Empire, taking on Orange Cassidy, who will be, of course, going after the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship this Sunday, and the team of Roppongi Vice of Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. So that's pretty much all the wrestling news I have for you. So now it's, I guess, a good time to start winding down a bit here, as I think today being Tuesday, June the 21st, would be a good time to check out This Day in Each History. History! So with that, let me just recheck everything here. 1982, 1972, and 2012. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. All right, so first off, we head back 50 years ago today on this day in 1972 here, as the animated film package Superstar Goofy, featuring Goofy, premiered in the United States on this date back in 1972. Back in 1972, the package animated film Superstar Goofy from Walt Disney Animation premiered on this date back in 1972, 50 years ago today. So there we go with that one. Moving on to 1982, 40 years ago today, on this day, 40 years ago today, the late, great Junkyard Dog, a.k.a. Sylvester Ritter, would defeat Bob Roop for the Mid-South North American heavyweight title in New Orleans, Louisiana. So during time down in Bill Watts' Mid-South Wrestling Association on this date, 40 years ago today, Junkyard Dog, the late great Junkyard Dog, would defeat Bob Roop for the Mid-South North American heavyweight title. One day after, of course, Paul Orndorff defeated Buzz Sawyer for the NWA National Heavyweight title. Okay, getting ready to move on to the next bit of history here. On this date, 22, as we head to the year 2000, on this date, 22 years ago today, the 20th issue of Ghost from Dark Horse Comics, from their Comics Greatest World imprint, went on sale on this date back in the year 2000. 22 years ago today, 20th issue of Ghost from Dark Horse Comics, from their Comics Greatest World imprint, went on sale on this date back in 2000. The cover price was $2.96, 32 pages. Wait, why did I do? All right, lucky thing it didn't. Okay. Anyways, wrong thing there. Anyways, and finally, on this date, 10 years ago today, the anime series Medaka Box would complete its run on this date 10 years ago today. So 10 years ago today, the animated series Medaka Box would conclude its run on this date in 2012, 10 years ago today. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. I thank everybody for all the likes and shares. And I hope everybody has a good evening, and I look forward to seeing you. Now, don't forget, of course, it's Friday. We'll be continuing our look at February 1939 down comics history. This week's co-host will be Action Toys Channel. So I will hopefully, as you guys know that starting this week we'll be doing a rotating co-host. So we'll probably have a different co-host every week. So with that, I thank you all for being here. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night for more Neach news. Until then, bye.